May the Force be with you.
Welcome to TYT Community. This is the second episode ever. My name is Kimani David. I'm the Young Turks Community Ambassador. And with me today we have Jeff Waldorf and Kevin Wayne.
My name is Jeff Waldorf. I have a blog at another progressive blog. Blogspot.com.
I'm Kevin Wayne. I have also have a blog. It's veritynation.wordpress.com. TYT community member. I'm from Florida.
Let's move on to the Michelle Obama speech.
And as I got to know Barack, I realized that even though he had grown up all the way across the country, he'd been brought up just like me. Like so many American families, our families weren't asking for much. They didn't begrudge anyone else's success or care that others had much more than they did. In fact, they admired it. They simply believed in that fundamental American promise that even if you don't start out with much, if you work hard and do what you're supposed to do, you should be able to build a decent life for yourself and an even better life for your kids and grandkids. That's how they raised us. We learned about dignity and decency, that how hard you work matters more than how much you make, that helping others means more than just getting ahead yourself. We learned about honesty and integrity, that the truth matters, that you don't take shortcuts or play by your own set of rules. And standing before you 4 years ago, I knew that I didn't want any of that to change if Barack became president. Well, today, after so many struggles and triumphs and moments that have tested my husband in ways I never could have imagined, I have seen firsthand that being president doesn't change who you are. No, it reveals who you are. You see, that's the man who sits down with me and our girls for dinner nearly every night, patiently answering questions about issues in the news, strategizing about middle school friendships. That's the man I see in those quiet moments late at night, hunched over his desk, poring over the letters people have sent him. The letter from the father struggling to pay his bills, from the woman dying of cancer whose insurance company won't cover her care, from the young people with so much promise but so few opportunities. And I see the concern in his eyes, and I hear the determination in his voice as he tells me, "You won't believe what these folks are going through, Michelle. It's not right. We've got to keep working to fix this. We've got so much more to do." If farmers and blacksmiths could win independence from an empire, if immigrants could leave behind everything they knew for a better life on our shores, if women could be dragged to jail for seeking the vote, if a generation could defeat a depression and define greatness for all time, if a young preacher could lift us to the mountaintop with his righteous dream, and if proud Americans can be who they are and boldly stand at the altar with who they love, then surely we can give everyone in this country a fair chance at that great American dream. And let me tell you something, I say all of this tonight, not just as First Lady, no, not just as a wife. You see, at the end of the day, my most important title is still Mom-in-Chief. I know from experience that if I truly want to leave a better world for my daughters and for all of our sons and daughters, if we want to give all of our children a foundation for their dreams and opportunities worthy of their promise, If we want to give them that sense of limitless possibility, that belief that here in America, there is always something better out there if you're willing to work for it, then we must work like never before. And we must once again come together and stand together for the man we can trust to keep moving this great country forward. My husband, our president, Barack Obama. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America.
She had a lot of emotion. I mean, this was definitely reaching for the core of people. You know, she shared the personal story with her father, and she also made a couple of good jabs at Mitt Romney, basically trying to fight the narrative of class envy. You know, we don't begrudge those people their money, and I think that was a very important point to make. There was also the truth matters and integrity matters. Something that wasn't covered was Barack lived the American dream, and I think that was an important line that wasn't in the video.
I definitely agree that the truth and integrity matters. Definitely a huge part of her speech. The emotion that she carried, definitely I agree with you on that. Another thing I'd like to add, though, is the way she spoke brought everything in a perspective that success is not designed around money and achievement of the wealthy, which is what you got from the RNC, from everything, all their speaking. Success, almost when you left there, you heard that word, it seemed to be defined over becoming wealthy, an individual becoming wealthy, that's success. And in her speech, what I got out of it was success is by bringing a huge community together, and that huge community is the United States of America, bringing everything together and everybody prospers. That's success.
I loved that speech, and I loved it because it seemed real. I don't know if everything that she was saying was factually correct. There's no way to check it because largely it's anecdotal. But, I mean, you hear that, and you're thinking, you know what? She lived this. She lived exactly what she's talking about. We were so young and so in debt. You know, like, yes, I believe that because when they met, they were both fresh out of college. And she had made some great points about the political atmosphere that we're currently operating in. Do you believe that Barack Obama cares about the citizenry of this country as much as Michelle Obama had painted?
You know, I'm not really sure. I can't really get into the mind of Barack Obama. It sounds good politically, and it's a good political case. I mean, it's the same thing with Barack saying Obamacare. He claimed that and said Obama cares. Now, he's making a very good political case. You know, as far as really knowing if he cares, I'm sure he does. You know, I'm sure he does care how his policies impact regular people. But I don't know. I think she might be a little biased because it's her husband. I mean, you know, my wife would say the same kind of things about me.
Some of the things he gave up on or gave away, what us progressives really hate him for, and I don't mean hate in a bad way. I'm just saying that oh, he's not the man that I would have had. I don't want the other guy, but I would really want somebody more progressive in there. Some of those policy issues, like protecting the extension of unemployment benefits, you know, he did that knowing that he was going to take a lot of flack on that, and he did it knowing that the rich were going to get an extended tax break, which he did not want to give. I don't believe he wanted to do that, but I believe he was so worried about those people that that's the reason he did it. And I mean, that kind of policy is pretty inarguable, you know, that he actually cared. And then you get a real sense to believe him because you believe her. I mean, if you don't believe what she said, if you think she was being disingenuous, I really don't know what to say about your personality because, you know, she spoke from the heart and you could tell it and feel it.
And she's not a performer, you know, and that, oh man, some of these right-wing blogs are saying, oh, that was such a great performance, and then they try to discredit her because they said that, you know, when they met, that they were both fresh out of law school and Obama was already at a firm. Yeah, but, you know, they had debt from school. I'm sure they had debt from credit cards. I'm sure they were not in the greatest shape coming out of college, and you know, which is kind of an allusion to how people come out of college in this current environment. I want to touch on when she said that we don't begrudge anybody else's success. That was such a sentient point to make, because I think that the entire Republican platform operates with this sense of these people over here that aren't making as much money as we do. Like, they want to live our lifestyle, so they want our money. That's not true.
That fits perfectly into their narrative of class warfare. I mean, the RNC really believes that these people, or at least they say they do, that these people are envious. You know, they want, and that Obama wants to do these social policies that take your hard-earned money and give it to these people who are envious. And I'm really glad that Michelle had made that point, that no, we're not envious, and I truly do believe her when she said that. It definitely shows that it is from the heart. She truly believes what she's saying.
This was a specific address to the Romney campaign, and it's almost scolding in nature. She said, when we were young, or when we were growing up, we learned about dignity, decency, honesty, and integrity. Don't play by your own rules. And I find that's just such a fascinating and deep quote, because one, decency, honesty, integrity, dignity, these are all things that the Republicans have thrown out the window for years in order to try to bring Obama down. And then when she says don't play by your own rules, that's a reference to a ton of different things, and I think more specifically in regards to how Mitt Romney treats his money and avoids taxes. So, do you guys have anything to say about that?
You couldn't describe it really any better than that. She walked out there, the tone of her voice, her demeanor, her posture, it gave a sense of comfort to the audience, and she's not an actress. She is not an actress. She isn't just delivering a speech. She actually feels and believes the message, and it was, in some cases, a scolding message to the other side. She was scolding them like a mother would a child. Like, you know, how dare you act like this?
Michelle Obama had said, being a president reveals who you are. It doesn't change who you are, it reveals who you are. I don't know Barack Obama personally, but I do want to suggest that being president has changed him a little bit. I think that he was much more an idealist before he came into office. And now that he's faced with the rules that the establishment has, and that these waters that he has to navigate, you know, he's become, in essence, he's become a sailor on these random establishment waves. So I do think that being president, being in charge, being faced with all these difficult decisions on a daily basis has changed him and revealed who he is. Michelle Obama, you go, girl.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.